Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Chatting with Charles. Seth, good morning to you.
What's happening, Charles? Good morning.
Hey, twice in 3 days. This is getting to be a
Oh,
thing.
I feel like I'm at home again. Woke up and was like,
Good as well. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Hey, Sherman, how are you?
are we on the wrong show?
You're on another show, Sherman.
Ah! Sorry, dude. He's got a little. He's high strung. I've realized that he wasn't built with kneecaps, and he's been standing up for like 11 years. So
Yeah, that'll make you a little uptight.
rightfully pissed off, right? I mean,
All right.
good
Well,
morning,
good morning. Good morning,
family.
everybody, and welcome to Chatting with Charles. Our special guest today is Seth of Pressley, California Customs, and we're going to kind of dig into his musical journey a bit and find out more about the custom guitars that he makes.
Well, more
And
excitingly, Presley's Pretzels, which is something I'm gonna be announcing that people should know about because that's the big move. The
I
guitars
should
are
have
just
known. I should have known. Yes.
yeah, it's fine.
But let's welcome folks in the chat. We have Herba Fireside Studios. We have Ryan Hall. We have Keith H. We have Terry 3Gs.
What up, Terry?
We
Fixing
have
to sing
Octopus
guitar.
Ears. Welcome in, my friend. And Ben Coombs. So let's see who
Brother
else is
Ben.
Hit Metalworks has slid in, and so has BC Rich 581. William Silver, good morning, sir. Good morning to you. I'd love to get William on one of these Chatting with Charles because he's got some really cool stories that I think the rest of the community needs to hear. Good morning,
Absolutely.
Martian Murray. All right, so it looks like we're caught up into the chat, and
We're gonna
so
bore the hell out of you.
I'm sorry, Bonkers and Patrick Trites have just
What up,
slid in as
Patrick?
well.
What
Welcome
up,
in, gents. Welcome
Bonkers?
in. So, Seth, how does your guitar journey begin? What are the beginnings of that?
I was born into a family with a father who played guitar, acoustic guitar, and always had one around since my birth, and played like Tennessee stud and country stuff, and was good at guitar, really good at chords, and really good at songwriting, and kind of he was a singer songwriter, I guess, in a way. That's my dad, Buddy Pressley, my birth father. And so I was always raised around it. I think I started learning chords when I was around six or seven, maybe. Yeah. Also, I was lucky enough to, at that point in my life, unlucky or lucky, whatever, I had a stepdad too because my parents split up. Ended up with a stepdad who also played guitar, but was more of an electric guitar guy. Well, he was anyway. Yeah, he played more electric than my other dad, and so I had two dads, dude, that were both into guitar. So it kind of wasn't gonna miss me, I guess, because I had always looked up to the two main characters, both doing guitar, and so I thought that was cool.
Excellent, excellent.
And it is.
So
Just in case anybody here has a question in their mind about whether or not guitar makes you cool, it does. You are cool. Than
so
them.
so it starts really early on with you then.
Totally. There's pictures of me at the beginning of my videos, a couple of the videos, like where I'm 5 or 6 or 7 on the deck holding an arch top that I come to realize was kind of expensive, and I dragged it around as a kid. Sorry, Charles. Yeah, I know. That's
All the advantages.
Well, I mean, I was apologizing really for destroying those guitars as a kid and not knowing. But he probably put the ones in my hands that were that I could destroy.
Oh, I am sure. So what was your first guitar? The one that was yours, right?
Okay. So my memory is bad, but I do have pictures and stuff. So the first electric guitar that I was super stoked on, that I played a lot, was a gift from my grandfather Pressley, Grampy Pressley, Warren Hubert Pressley II. And so he was kind of a dick. I love you, Grampy, but you were kind of a dick. And he teased me for like 3 months and said, because I was a hippie boy in California, and he kind of knew that. He was a grandpa in Maine and southern Maine. Anyway, he was kind of a hick, and I was a hippie boy from California visiting his son, my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be like, all right, well, what do you want for Christmas? I think, Grampy, I want love in the world, and I want a guitar. He's like, oh, yeah, guess what we're getting you? We're getting you a gun. And I was like, Grampy, I don't want a gun. I'm pretty sure that I'm not even supposed to have one, Grampy. I'm like 9. No, we're getting you a gun. And then he would do this. When he made it. So I thought, and I think I probably cried over that, thought for sure I was getting a gun. And guess what looks oddly like a gun package under the tree when you're a kid?
Oh,
yeah. So I thought I was getting a gun, and I opened it up, and it was a guitar. And it, they had ordered me the Eddie Van Halen striped version, single pickup striped version, but apparently, I think it must have been from Japan or Korea. I don't have the guitar anymore. But they ended up sending me a white Flying V instead, which is a far cry from the Eddie Van Halen guitar. So I was initially disappointed, but then quickly learned how much better I had it, because I had 2 volumes, 2 tones, 2 humbuckers, but it was a pain in the ass to sit with and play as a kid. But if you can learn on a V, it puts you in a good trajectory to not be bothered by guitar shapes.
Now, is that a guitar you still own?
No, that stayed in the attic in the farm in Maine, right? And then I grew up in California. I ended up leaving there, and it never came with me. So I'm sure it went in some yard sale or there's somebody that bought it that, it's gone. I've looked at Reverb to see if I could replace it with something or whatever, but I'll just end up building a V at some point, a white one. White with black plastics. And I think it had, Charles, gold hardware, which kind of stuck, if you hadn't noticed.
Right.
What up, Dave? Chase, Big Wave Dave. Did you make it out to it has been pumping. It has been pump-a-lumping is what we would say about the waves, because they're just so pumping right now. Everybody up and down the coast that is capable and getting out there and shredding it is loving it right now. Although it's cold AF, but it's really good waves.
Yeah.
So sorry that Dave's a surfer.
No. That's important. You said this is part of what we're here for, right? We're trying to find out who Seth Pressley is, what makes him tick, and that surfer is a big part of who you are.
Yeah, and I don't want you to do an internet search. I want you to get the information here from me. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But everything fall apart. Comments about that. Guitars fall apart in the attic. Everything falls apart in the attic. It's like like the worst. It's kind of like putting a guitar to storing a guitar in a garage in Texas.
I think if I would have retrieved that guitar in my earlier life, I would have just it would have been for the thought that says, "Oh, I can take those pickups out of there, or I can. What can I take out of that guitar?" So I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'm not glad that I don't have it, but I think that it would have, ended up in a pile of parts, which happens.
It does. And so, so where do we go from there? Okay, so you start on the V, and the V stays in Maine. So you come back to California. Is there another guitar acquisition that happens soon after that?
Okay, so the first guitar. So I was I guess before I was a drummer, the first guitar acquisition that I remember was at the end of 5th grade, going into 6th grade. And this is an anomaly. This doesn't happen in my life, but somehow I achieved. And this is, I guess it happened in 5th grade. I achieved all A's. Yeah, dude. In 5th grade, it was on. That's when my intellectual peak happened early. So I got all straight A's, and my dad took me to Guitar Center and bought me a Kramer Striker 6000 ST with a Floyd and locking nuts and super shredder. I think Ben has the same guitar. It's red. It has single switches for the pickups. So good. Anyway, that was the guitar that I put hours in on and learned on. And also, it was a Floyd. So I learned Floyds very early. I had a Floyd in fifth and sixth grade, and was having to keep it going. Mm-hmm. That's a thing. That's a thing when you're a kid. But I had a stepdad who was down with showing me, and made sure the number one thing that he did that was hella cool was made sure that I had the right tools to not destroy what I had. And he explained to me, here's your tools to mess with these pieces. Just use these, or you're going to strip them out. And then and he kind of like made it all dramatic. And so I took it. I was like, all right, I'm not going to strip this out. And I always had the tools, and I kept the tools with the guitars or in a area for the guitars, and that has been helpful lesson.
Yeah, excellent. So we had a question in the chat about, how cold does it need to be for a guitar finish to crack? And the answer on that really is it depends on the finish. But if you're talking about nitrocellulose lacquer, it's if you've got a quick swing in temperatures, that will do it, right? Humidity can have something to do with it, if it's an acoustic. And so it really depends on, are you talking about a poly finish, or are you talking about nitrocellulose lacquer? Those, because the poly finishes are a lot more durable that way, right? You can go from cold to hot really quickly, and it's fine. But nitro is right. BC Rich is right. Nitro is very, very fragile, right? While poly flexes, quite a bit.
You can do anything with poly.
Yeah, it's a lot more forgiving. It's a lot more forgiving.
You can do anything.
Then nitrocellulose lacquer is easier to work with too. I mean, you can.
Well, I was going to say with poly, you can do anything but relic it.
Yeah.
Because good luck. I mean, I've seen a couple that looked natural, but it's just hard. It just doesn't look good. Yeah. So, dude, I gotta say to Herb, so being a drummer is a thing, right? Being a drummer is one of your. So I had that Kramer. You guys are gonna hate me, right? My dad realized everybody in my neighborhood played guitar, and he may or may not have realized that at that time they were better than me at guitar. So he decided, he decided, I know you want to be in a band, and I want you to rock, so why don't we put you on drums? I may have displayed some kind of rhythmic abilities, I don't know. And so we took that Kramer down to a local non-Guitar Center, smaller local shop, and traded it for a drum set. Yeah, I'm sorry, Internet.
We'll try to forgive you.
It got me into a band, which meant I was hanging out with better guitarists. I was playing guitar all the time, because as soon as we would take a break and they would step away from their Marshall stack and their Jackson, I would grab it and play it. And so I kept playing guitar. But what up, Guitar Man 45? Mm-hmm. So man, it kept me shredding, and staying. Oh, also being a drummer helps you stay on time, man. It helps your hand rhythm. It helps it helps everything with guitar. It's a thing.
I want to welcome in a couple folks while we're in between questions. Blackjack Guitar, good morning to you. Michael B. Live, Blue Mox, Guitar Man 45. Ryan of OU812 has just filtered in as well.
Hold on. It's not nighttime and I'm not buzzed, but hold on. OU812. Oh, yeah, buddy. That was dope.
So lots of great shows going on. OU812 will be on later tonight, and Ben Coombs is making his triumphant return. So we're having a Sunday night hang tonight in honor of his father, Dave Coombs. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna wear my hat. I was the other night. We had the Friday. We had the picture up there, and I didn't even realize how I look very similar to all the dudes standing by the van.
True.
I was like, I could have walked out of this scene and into that picture, and with the exception of updated jeans, it would have seemed very similar. Except they would have all known I'm not a Canadian. They would have looked right at me and said, "You're Californian."
It seems like your Kramer remark has cost us a viewer.
Yeah, dude. I tell Joe, dude. Okay, here's the thing. I sought out and repurchased that guitar which I thought, because I found it locally, I thought may have been the same guitar. Kramer Striker 6000, got it for a great deal, smoking deal, bought it back for like $400. I almost wanted to get that thing swabbed and DNA tested to see if it was the same guitar, because I bought it like in San Leandro. It's like 30 miles from where, I grew up. Anyway, didn't do that. Had it for like 3 years, then decided I don't like Floyd's again, and then was like, oh, I should keep this because it's the same as my first guitar. But then again, what? It's not. Or whatever. I just decided that I don't need all these guitars, and I looked at my collection, and then Eddie Van Halen passed away, and somebody offered me $900 for it or something, so I sold it. $800, I think it was. So
it happens. Sometimes you need the money, and sometimes you have those opportunities. Yeah.
it was also like a conscious choice to like reduce the personal collection because it was starting to grow beyond what it really needed to be, and yeah, I just wasn't playing it. Somebody else was going to have more fun.
Okay, so how do we get into the whole Pressley California Customs deal?
We skipped 25 years.
We'll go back.
Pressley California Customs came to be because I enjoyed buying guitars on Craigslist. This is my Guitar Safari thing, right? On Craigslist, finding, and this is back when you could find people selling a Mexican-made Fender Strat for between, they would be asking $300 or $350 on Craigslist. So you could get it for, that's a Craigslist ask, and I'm a, pretty good salesperson, you could say, and I'm a good negotiator in ways, and I can sense a deal. So I would hunt out these deals and find them and work them, massage them, and get guitars around $200, and then pimp them out and set them up and change some things and make them look good, play good, and sell them for $450, something like that. Usually.
Hey, could you bump up your mic a little bit? We're getting a message that it's a little low.
How about this?
I think that's better.
Okay, and just tell us, guys, because this is not a podcast microphone. It's a dynamic microphone, so I can be dynamically speaking. I can say dynamics, and you can hear all of it. Those dynamics.
So we start doing the whole Pressley thing, right?
Well, no, those weren't Presleys. Those were Fenders, and some of them were Squires, and they were all Craigslist finds, and they were just me honing my abilities. Then I took a class from. I hurt my arm. I went surfing with my brother, which I hadn't been surfing because I kind of just stopped surfing because I did it so much, and. Was still in very good shape because I was going to the gym all the time. Went surfing with my brother and ripped my bicep tendon in my arm, which was just right here at the inside of your arm. And it sucked really bad. It hurt bad. It was a long recovery. It was a 6-month recovery. But after surgery, they put your arm in this position, like literally a guitar, like as if you're holding a guitar, like this angle. And in a cast or in a bandage thing, and they're like, go home and exercise your hand. And I was like, oh, so you mean go home and play guitar for 6 months? Okay. So I went home, and the first month, mind you, was just it was a major surgery. I was just high on medication for the first 4 weeks or something, but playing guitar, watching YouTube videos. That's when I dove into, Marty and all the. That's when I just started YouTubing, and that's when I became a watcher of McKnight every week because I was off for a long time. And during that healing process, once I got to the point where I had this arm thing on and I could move and use my arm, I took a class from Jeff Luttrell from SF Guitar Works on how to do setups and. When I walked into his shop, I was like, "Oh my God, this is home. Like this is where everything happens. You can do I realized like what my stepdad had as a kid was just a small little thing compared to this huge guitar luthier shop. I was so impressed. But then I had a great job. And I went back to work after I'd hurt my arm. And let's see, that's coming right up on the pandemic. And then about a year back at work, then the pandemic hits and my job sucked. It changed and it became very dangerous for me to be me. They moved me into Oakland, into a dangerous spot where I should never be even getting out of my car. I'm not even kidding. I grew up in Richmond in a pretty dangerous, in a spot that like I'm what you might call street smart. And I'm smart enough to know that like this wasn't going to work for the long term. So I, instead of searching on Craigslist for guitars to buy, I looked in the jobs section and searched guitars, and up came an ad from Jeff Luttrell at Guitar Works saying, "Hey, we're looking for a luthier or a tech." And since I already knew him, I hit him up and negotiated over the period of time and had to figure out how to leave a high-paying a sales job and change into a lower paying thing, but with a career trajectory towards what I wanted. And so worked that out, made it happen, and worked with him for almost 3 years. Just, working on everybody's guitar, fixing every problem, doing everything that you could possibly imagine, fretless, just everything that you do that goes into doing guitars, except for some stuff that he kind of pocketed and doesn't want you to do. Right?
That stuff is just his territory, right?
Well, not so much. Anyway, I'm not going to get into bashing Jeff because he's a really good human with a few major flaws, like we all have, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's reasons why people don't love me, per se. But I learned so much from that. He's so smart and so fun to yell at. Oh, man, arguing with that dude is hilarious. It's amazing. Because he's smart. You don't want to argue with dumb people because it's not fun.
No.
So,
no.
Anyway, so he taught me everything I know because he took me from what I knew and then like smacked it out of me. You broke me down like the Marines, You must unlearn all of these terrible things. And after he unlearned me, then I learned his way. And his way is the way. And I would put him up against almost anybody when it comes down to lutherie. If I was like, I don't know, when you choose your guy on the video game, the battler, he's not that tall, but I'm going to go ahead and choose Jeff when it comes to a lutherie battle because he'll rock it out.
It sounds like it was a really valuable experience.
Totally. And so that's where Pressley Customs came from because I was already doing these other guitars, and then I built that confidence, and then I figured out through that job I learned I met good friends that build guitars. I met Joe Zahn, who's an inspiration from Zahn basses, and you get the insight on where to buy parts, where to go, what to do, how to figure it out, what process to follow. That's where the checklists come from, from those guys. And then you get the headstock. The main thing, my wife and I went back and forth. We have to get the headstock name, and the logo has to be trademarked and all this. And eventually it's just, let's just order some headstock decals and do it. Let's build. What up, Dave? D.E.?
I love this. Dave is a man after my own heart. You can't just go with the frozen pizza. You got to add to it, right?
Oh, my wife always adds to it. There's jalapenos on it. There's a little bit more cheese.
Welcome in, Dave. Welcome in, Dennis. Excuse me.
Yeah, Dennis. I did the same thing because I was talking about Big Wave Dave Chase. I used to have my buddy who's Big Wave Dave. It's completely different Dave than Drop In Dave, which is also a surfer because Drop In Dave doesn't really care if you're already riding the wave. He will drop in on you, and you know that it's going to happen because his name is literally Drop In Dave. Like,
this is trademark.
He used to get. He was one of the people that would get the most upset ever in traffic. You'd be driving, and he'd be super calm, and he was a mellow guy. He was a comedian, such a nice guy. But then you get stopped in traffic, and he'd be like, "Oh my God!" He'd flip out and punch the fucking roof, and just, oh my, I loved it. I was like, dude, Dave, it's only just but we're missing the waves.
So, apparently Sarah has been a huge, big part of the whole Pressley thing, right? Because you talked about, the headstock logos and in trying to get those right and what we're going to do with these guitars. I mean, and often she helps you pick the parts, right? She helps you pick the look of that particular guitar.
Yeah, like certain aesthetics she will be responsible for, or really guide the way. Some she just chooses all the colors and parts, and then I'll just build it. Some that I'll just go and ask her, what she likes, and which one, what looks better, honey, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also been super helpful with the shipping. Back when people were buying guitars, shipping them off. We used to ship out 2 guitars a month. There were some days we were shipping 2 guitars in a day sometimes. It was crazy. But now things have just slowed down. I'm going to hang out and let the tide come in and let the tide flow out. People will buy. These guitars are actually $2,000 guitars. Everybody should know that.
So what is your process when you decide, okay, it's time to do a new build? What is kind of your process through doing that?
I have a parts ordering checklist. Charles, I don't have all my checklists and stuff pulled out, but I have a parts ordering checklist that I go through. Actually,
morning, Trev. Morning, sir.
Whatever. Yeah, I got a parts ordering checklist that I go through to make sure that I ordered every part that I need for the build. And as I'm filling out that build sheet, that's kind of where because I know when I'm ordering, I'll write in, what color the body is, what kind of neck it is, so that's what I'm ordering, those parts and pieces. Then when it gets here, I'll make sure I collectively have everything ready, which I've done. I've done videos of that, me unboxing the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of lay it out, and then I have it's underneath the bench here, but it's a silverware organizer thing. And it has little compartments that are big enough for the bridge, all the pieces kind of go in there. So when you build the guitar, you can kind of put that over here, and then all the pieces are in there for that guitar. And then I just start going on my checklist. One of the first things I do is all the
Thank you, Martin.
The softening. Yeah, dude, I'm sure it's probably, have some dinner, dude. I do the softening of the fret edges, and if there are any fret sprout, I treat that first. Then I get the tuning keys in there, pre-fit them. Then I take them out. Then I put on the headstock decal. And the reason for that, all that preparation before, is because I want that neck to be essentially ready to just delicately have those tuners put on it and then go on to the guitar after the headstock decal is applied. I don't want to apply the headstock decal first and then be doing a bunch of different stuff with the neck to scrape up that decal or whatever, or just have that opportunity. So that's part of the flow. Then I'll prep the body. I have the whole list.
The other side of that, Seth, though, it's not a Pressley until you've done all the fret work, until you got that neck the way you want it to, right?
That's the thing. Each one that as I'm building it, I'm not banging it out the door because, this one's got to go out the door, right? Each one as I'm building it because, man, at the end of this, I'm going to have hella fun. I'm going to play this thing. I'm going to play it for 2 weeks. How? Like this one, dude, this one's up for sale, but I don't know. You're going to have to offer me the right amount. Don't try to break me down because I love this guitar right now. So much fun.
It does have a killer look. I love the neck.
I picked it up after 2 days, and I was playing it upstairs on using my computer and stuff, and during my COVID, and realized I hadn't tuned it in like 2 days, so I came down and got the clip-on tuner, came back up, and it was like in perfect tune, with the exception of a tiny bit off on like the G and the B. It's like, wow. That's a good guitar. Very very handy.
Well, kind of speaking of you playing these guitars, there is some new things happening on your channel. Folks may have noticed last couple of weeks that sometimes you're using this microphone And when you're using this microphone, it means that the interface is all set up. And so,
yeah, I got the guitars like ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing a lot more playing videos on your channel as well. And so we're excited about that.
I mean, I guess people are excited about that. My thought was is that I sit down and practice a lot. Maybe I'll just turn on the video and do a little bit of editing out of the less palatable parts of the little jam session, but I might as well, or should I just log on randomly and do it live? I don't know, but it seems like content is there because I have a lot of fun with playing, and maybe I should do it live so if somebody saw me do something they could ask.
Yeah, you do it, do it live, do it interactive, but have that set time so people know that you're going to be there, right? When you just go live, it's like, okay, you might get 1 or 2 or 3 people, depending on what people are already doing, what time it is, right?
Totally.
But if you got that time, people can make the time for you.
But that might be fun too, because then when you only have 1 or 2 or 3 people, then you get to know those 2 or 3 people each time, and it could be randomly whenever you're going on, right? Anyway, yeah, you're right though. Totally better. What up, Kush man?
Hey, Kush, how are you?
How are you doing, dude?
I missed it in the chat the other day, Seth.
What happened?
But in going back and doing the playback of our show on Friday,
people made more fun of me.
No, Kush got a new guitar.
What? What did Kush get? Oh wait, didn't he get a 335 or something?
No, I thought it was a Telecaster, but my memory is failing about what it was. Well, but it was something. It was a
guitar to you.
Mexican player, a Mexican player's Telecaster, I believe.
Yeah, I think that it's like the Tootsie Roll thing. Anything Charles thinks he sees becomes a Telecaster to him.
Probably is.
Hey, wait, is that a giraffe? No, it's a Telecaster. Hey, wait, is that a shovel? No, that's a Telecaster. Sorry, I don't have.
Okay, so Seth, so Kush, let us know. Am I way off? Am I just putting Telecaster there because it's on my brain, or
no.
Is that what you got?
It's an Ormsby headless
7-string. I do know for sure. I do know for sure it was a Mexican Fender. That part I am sure on.
Yeah, and
Martian Murray did get a Mexican, made in Mexico telly in the ocean turquoise, and I love that color. Yeah.
Is it this kind of turquoise? This is like a weird turquoise off. Hey, Charles, do you remember when I sent you the picture of the first body they sent me when I got this one? And the pickup route was clearly jacked. Like, yes. Clearly jacked. And so I sent, gotta love iPhones and you gotta love email communication. I sent a very good, clear picture, a series of pictures, I think, a couple of pictures, to the person in charge of returns and stuff, and I think that I even sent a picture showing the style of guitar that I intended on building without pickup rings. And he says, "Oh, well, normally we would do the return, but this is obviously going to be covered by the pick guard or the pickup rings." I was like, "No, it's not. Please."
So apparently, Seth, I was way off.
P-base.
P-base. I was.
Highway 1 is Mexican, and that is Highway 1, I think, is the nitro finish, and a P bass is perfect. That's amazing. How much? Yeah. How much? Did he already tell us how much?
I don't believe that was revealed.
Okay, wait. If it's not revealed yet, chat. What did he pay, or what should he have paid? I would say that a Highway 1, really good condition, Mexican P bass. $550, $600, not being bummed out about paying that much. If you got a smoking deal, it's in the 4s. You could pay up to 8, even 9 if it's well. A Mexican Tele Sunburst, nice.
Before that,
$500, perfect. I'm right in the zone, right where I was talking, Kush. I got you.
And he's on the better part of that deal at 500, definitely.
Oh, totally. That's another use it for a while and then sell it.
So Guitar Man 45 says he's been waiting for a Canadian guitar company, Lucent Guitars, waiting for the price of a custom telly. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, a custom telly. I see them going out there for, 25 to $5,500 custom. 25 is on the either used or really low end for.
Yeah. And Michael Krause, he wants a Jazz Master, but a Godin
Oh
Belmont
man,
just popped up for $300. No Bigsby.
dude, Jazz
Bill.
Master is right. I got three of my buddy's guitars right now. Todd went up to go fishing in Tahoe and dropped three guitars for a plec in Oakland
Mm-hmm.
at my buddy's shop. The shop is called Wood Street in Oakland, California. Octopus Ears, you should really check it out and go there. Anybody else that's local, they're amazing. Anyway, so dropped them off for the plec. Oh God, Todd's guitars are so cool. There's a Jazz Master with two P90s. There's a Jazz Master that's basically a telly because it's a telly pickup configuration. Hardtail, so good. And then the other one's a Strat, but we all love Strats too. Start at 3,800 buckaroonies. Yep, that's why all the ones you see behind you now, they're all going to be $2,000. No, I have to do it. Sorry. I mean, if you know me and you're cool and I have wanted to keep the thing at like $1,000. That was my whole thing, right?
Yeah, I just think all prices are kind of out of control. On the I was expecting to see as we got this far out of COVID that I was waiting for prices to kind of come down, and they really haven't.
Well, I think I don't know. I think that overall, in general, there's a lot of guitars in the world right now, right? And so we better be birthing some guitar players because everybody has 10, which is cool because it's something you want to have 10. I love having 10.
I love problems like this. Hobo Rody says, I thought it was an Indonesian Squire, but I pulled my precision out of the barn. Turned out to be a Mexican Fender. That was fucking
Beautiful. Hey, sometimes you forget what you actually had. No, I get it. I cleaned up the workshop the other day because I was just home at time, and put a bunch of those guitars we were talking about, like the parts, guitars and pieces. Put a couple of them into the bathroom just to kind of nicely put. But my wife walked in there, was looking at my cleaning job, and was like, "Oh my God, there's so many guitars everywhere." They're just everywhere.
So how many guitars would you say that you have in pieces? If you were to sit there and go through your workshop and just put everything together, how many guitars could you build with what you have?
Can I tell you how many I can see from where I'm sitting?
Sure.
I've got 4 bodies. 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies they're all could be. The reason they stay around is because I could put them together for someone who really wants a guitar, but it's not up to a Pressley custom new guitar. But a couple cool bodies. I got this one I need to build. But as far as junk guitars and piece guitars, 4, 5, 6, a couple of kids' guitars, 7, 8, another kid's guitar, 9. Downstairs, there's a guitar-shaped object in the garage, 10. I have a box full of necks that are just old necks that are, it's just whatever.
See,
An inventory list. I like it.
Yeah, his daughter keeps track of everything for him, so it's great.
Well, so there is an inventory list of the stuff that really matters, but these are just, parts, things, pieces. But local shop got a blacktop Jazz Master with Seymour Duncan JM pickups. I want it, but already got me a couple guitar-shaped things. Yeah, Martian. But what does it say right here, Martian? Sorry, you must live by the command of the Charles show. Is buy one more. What's one more? I mean, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna get rid of it. You're gonna get, it's all fluid.
I prefer to think of it as you're rescuing a guitar.
So here's the thing, Cushman, and I appreciate you. So I've recently shown guitars to friends of mine that build expensive guitars, and also friends of mine that are qualified luthiers that work on other people's custom builds all the time. And everybody told me, not only should I double my prices, they were telling me I should think of tripling or quadrupling my prices because no one else is, well, not no one else. The amount of people that are out there building them that have the skill of someone who just worked as much as I did next to Jeff or other top luthiers, it's just not that many people. So the guitar that you buy from Fender or from any other big, not any other, but from most other big box places is not going to have this detail. Like, this is a custom shop thing. So I appreciate that very much, dude. I wish you could play some of these guitars. Or actually, here's the thing. If you have the chance, Charles, you should do this too. Make me feel good. On Reverb right now, there is, maybe you could even pull it up with the clickety clack. There is a Pressley custom for resale. Okay, if you go on Reverb and you search Pressley Customs, one of the first ones that'll come up is a sparkle green Telecaster. And the guy that bought it was super cool. You know, he has a ton of guitars. He buys high-end custom guitars. He has a weekly gig that he gets paid for, and he goes and he likes to rotate out really nice guitars. So he is rotating out the Pressley Custom. You know, it's up there for sale, which is okay, whatever. It's only $700, killer deal. But in his review of it, he says how he has, you know, Shure Tellies. He's got custom shop Fender Tellies. He's got all these killer guitars, which I, know he does. And he says that he puts that green one. He says that he puts this right on the level of those custom shop Tellies. So if you go and read his review, that is such a nice guitar. That's one of the ones, Charles, that when I built it, I put it up for sale too soon. I put it up for sale like right after I had built it, played it for like a few hours. And I was like, this is something that I call Sarah on too.
And Seth, I'm gonna drop that link for that ad in the chat so that.
Well, don't buy that one. I mean,
don't buy that one, but just so you can check out what was said about it.
No,
I figured maybe folks might want to read that review for themselves.
That's funny. You could buy that one too. That is a really good deal on it. I think he's still giving the case with it, which that came with a tweed hardshell case, a little teardrop hardshell. But there are some other really great guitars on there that are out there. That one's pretty cool. That's a two humbucker with a custom cut pick guard. See that pick guard's kind of a little weird shape there.
Mm-hmm. And so here's your page with what you've got up there right now.
Yeah, some of them you see up behind me. Some of them aren't for sale, like this Burst 2 humbucker Telly is not up there for sale, so you could message me if you wanted to talk about that one. Also, this turquoise 2 humbucker one behind me, that's also not up there for sale. You could call me about that one. But yeah, I've got 9 or 10 up there right now. And here's the thing, dude, and I'm not trying to, all these are coming down in the next week or two when I get some time. Everything's coming down. And then it's going to be ghost town for a week, and then everything's going back up, and all the prices are going to be at least double. Because I'm sorry, that's just, and you could hit me up and say, hey, dude, what about the old days when you wanted to do it for $1,000? And we'll talk, because you're my guy. If you're the one that calls me on the phone and we have a discussion, then yeah, you're my guy. But these ones, because here's the thing, I think more people have, the people that are buying these things have $2,000, and they know they want to give me $2,000 because they have the money. And they're like, oh, Seth is so cool. We don't only want to buy one for $800, but we feel weird just giving him $2,000 for it. So I'm going to make it easier for everybody to do that.
So Mike will be live. The link is right below your comment. So
yeah, check it out. And subscribe to the 132 channel member channel. I know, dude. It's crazy. It's gone beyond my wildest dreams. Never did I think I'd have a following of 132 people.
Well, I am willing to bet that pretty soon that number is going to go up dramatically. Especially once you start playing on your channel routinely, you're going to take off.
We thin it out. We thin it out every week. Keep it right around 130. You might get an email, an AI generated email that asks you, "Hey, how much do you like Seth? Consider it. Maybe unsubscribe."
Well, Seth, do you want to give them a preview of what kind of things they may hear on your channel?
I have a guitar. You know, it's funny. After the show on Friday night, I couldn't find any picks.
And Cushman is saying, Seth, dream big, buddy, dream big.
Okay. Does that sound buttery?
Yes.
Let's see some sparkle. It's so cold in here. My hands are cold. And then that's the middle. A little bit more muddy on the. Pretty good on that bridge, but let's do a little bit of. Sorry, you're gonna hear a little bit of. That bridge sounds good. I don't even know what that was, but that's a. But yeah, that's the pink champagne sparkle with the gold Bartolinis and the oh wait, hold on, I gotta see this.
Oh yes. Hold on 1 minute. Here you go.
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Who the hell is selling one of these? One volume, one tone. Gold Bartolinis that you can't even really get. And this is actually a custom deal with the black in the Pressley logo. That's not going to be a thing all the time. The little Pressley. Did I do a little Pressley deal? Yeah, I did do one. Right there.
Oh, yeah. I always thought that was a really nice touch.
They do wear off. So.
Yeah.
When you play it enough, like you start to have too much fun. Oh, thanks, man. That is a beautiful neck. I know. It's pretty good. I've been on there my whole life. Oh, you meant the guitar. Oh, okay. I get it. Come on back in, Charles. Why am I singled out here?
Oh,
I
guess I could come back in. You know,
I have my looper that I want to do a video on creating a loop, like doing from how I started with just the single thing, but I want to do a video on that, so it should be pretty fun.
Well, I would be looking forward to that. That is because that is something that I'm not aware of how to do, and don't currently own a looper, and so eventually, yeah.
A looper is almost a integral part of the journey. Like to, it looks like Elvis. Yeah, totally. It is a Elvis guitar on steroids. Here is the thing though about it. Just looks really good.
Yeah, it does. It is. Yeah, that pink sparkle with the gold, it just goes hand in hand. Yeah.
And with the moto, that pick guard also helps it to. It is a great guitar. It plays great. It's really fun. It sounds so good. You could coil split those humbuckers if you wanted, but I didn't mess with it because we're just keeping it simple.
Yeah, and Octopus Ear says that his looper video is probably his number one viewed video.
On how I use a looper. Yeah.
I love how he puts it. It's a crap video, but it gets the point across. Well, apparently it's not a crap video because it's getting the views, right?
I mean, the trio that I use is admittedly frustrating for a lot of people, and not a lot of people love it. I think there's a lot of hate out there for it, but for what I use it for, and because I've become accustomed to it, it works perfectly for me. And I've almost been like worried at times, like, oh my God, what am I going to do when this technology is antiquated? And they just decide.
When I think it comes down to we're of that generation where you may do with what you have, and you had what you have the pedal you have, and you sit there, okay, how do I make this work for me?
Yep.
Right.
I had a Boss looper pedal that was really good, but it didn't do what I needed it to do, which is the band creator part of the looping. I didn't want to just loop my own thing, and I worked on that and worked with that, and you can do a lot with making your own beat and all that stuff, but it's not as good as creating. So this is the guitar part. That's just the loop. It's like 4 parts, right? Right, so that's the guitar loop, and then this is what the band creator gave me for the bass line. And then you can choose a bunch of different. So for my drums on this, I chose to use like a rap drum, because when you put the heavy metal over it, you lose the rap. Oh, sorry. So much better than just a regular loopy loop, right? That's just my 3 chords going around, because I can do that, and you can do a dry loop with no drums or whatever, just the same way you'd use a normal looper. But this kind of changed my life. Game changer. Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Lucas has one? Is it the Trio Plus? Because the Plus does matter. I think the Plus gave you more bass options and drum options and all this stuff. Mm-hmm.
Well, William De Silva recently bought the Moore X2 drummer pedal, and he loves it.
Yeah, that was an option too. I was looking at getting that and keeping that with my Boss looper, but it seemed like that was adding more, and I was trying to simplify. I really like about this thing that I can take it to a club, and one of the outputs is designed to go into, which it's going into now, is to go into a board, which gives it this, and the person dialing the board. Oh yeah, cool. Lucas does have the Plus. So we could chat about that then, my friend. We could actually do a live call and both talk about how we do our trio looping. Because are you using the sequences? Like the song I was just playing right there, you can hear I've got it sequenced, right? So there's 4 or 5 parts of that song that you play through the first part, and then you go into the chorus, and it goes through the sequences, and you can tell it when to go back and forth and how many times to play each loop. It's really cool.
Nice. And so I've put in the chat already. Music Therapy Labs will be following us in 5 minutes. So go ahead and go over there and do a chatting with Charles Reid. And later today, the OU812 crew is going to be having their live stream. So make sure you check them out.
Yeah, buddy. They're
Yeah.
fun. So a lot of the times, just so people know, I have to lurk in those situations. I might be able to comment and say hi, but I'm trying to get away with listening. My hair's not long enough to cover my earbud in my ear. I should wear beanie caps more often. Oh, you know what they should make is a beanie cap where the earbud is just stitched into the. It's a flat earbud and it's stitched into the beanie cap, and it's also Bluetooth, so no one will know that you're like wearing it. Oh my God, I just designed something that's going to help kids listen to music all day in school, which they do anyway.
And of course, Seth, the one we've all been waiting for and are looking forward to tonight.
I'm there. I'm going to be
hanging Sunday night hang.
Set aside the time to make sure I go say what's up, dude. Yeah, that was a big part of my guitar journey. That when my stepdad passed away, which was kind of early, you know, it was tough though because he was sick for a year, and I took care of him a lot, and but it was kind of also not a shock like when he passed, right? Because we knew it was coming. So that I had my brother-in-law who lost his dad due to a heart attack, and his dad was totally fine, like totally good one day. And then just like, hey, I'm going to the beach. And then just boom, dead. And I thought to myself, that was actually harder. That was tough, dude. I'm sorry about that. You know,
it's no matter how you look at it, it's hard. We're just so glad to have him back and looking forward to a really great big show tonight.
Totally. And, you know, here's the thing that I've noticed that my dad, once he passed away, he's with me. He used to be with me when I would see him, or I go to him, or I call him, or whatever. But now he's with me every day, all the time, which is kind of selfishly cool because he's just around me all the time, dude. And everything I do, all these guitars have a little bit of him. Same thing with Ben. Part of Ben's thing is probably why he's so cool and why he just has his mannerisms and has his rants and acts the way he is because of his dad. And that's something that we all appreciate.
Definitely.
Totally.
Definitely.
And that killer telly that he got.
Good.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, Seth, we're getting low on our time. We've got about 3 minutes left. Would you like to play us out?
Sure. Hold on.
Folks, thank you all so much for joining the Sunday edition of Chatting with Charles with our special guest here, Seth of Pressley, California Customs. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you being here and look forward to seeing you again next week. Make sure you check out those shows we put in the links because it's looking forward to being a really great Sunday.
This is just a 4-chord progression. So it's A minor, C, G, F. Just in case you want to play along, Dude, I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Dave, go get some waves. Somebody offer me $2,000 for this guitar. Would be killer. Dude, thank you, Charles. Here, let me stop.
Go over and check out. Make sure we all go over and check out Music Therapy Labs and this show, which is getting ready to start here in just a minute.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Guitar Man 45. Thank you, Keith H. Thank you, William De Silva. Thank you, Ben Coombs.
Everybody for hanging out, chilling with us. Can't wait to see you guys all tonight at Ben's place and go over to Music Therapy. And then Ryan is later today too, right?
Yeah, Ryan later today, then Ben tonight. And so
keep on the lookout for L&M Guitar Corner and all their updates on those killer builds and I guess some fuzz pedal stuff too. I mean, you never know with those guys.
Yeah, and So we really appreciate it. Make sure you go on over to Seth's channel, give him a sub.
Yeah, think about
Let's get him
it.
way built up so that he can go and do some great things. All right. Well, Seth, thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you back Friday night for Guitar Safari.
We'll see you then.
All right.
Cool.